So, to complete our lecture, a recorded lecture on echinoderms, let's cover representative examples or species under the different classes, and let's take note of the key characters of these major classes. So there are five: Asteroidea, Opiroidea, Echinoidea, Holothuriidea, and Crinoidea. So first we have the true starfishes, the underclass Asteroidea. So morphologically, we appreciate the presence of five arms, allow the animal to, which are characteristic of the representative species under this major class. So some pictures of colorful starfishes, entirely marine animals, are shown. So underclass Asteroidea, the arms of these true starfishes are not sharply delineated from the central disc of the animal. The true feet have suckers that allow the animal to obtain food and move from one point to another. So, as the animal is attached to a substratum, the true feet allows for locomotion. The madreporite and anus are found on the aboral surface of the animal, and some of them have structures called pedicellariae, which are jaw-like appendages on the epidermis. So in this picture, you can see the opening of the WVS opening towards the aboral surface, as well as the anal pore, the anal opening. Okay. In terms of their feeding nature, they have a mouth that allows for acquisition of the food matter for the animal to um, fill or to cover its nutrient requirements. No, the stomach can be extruded on the can be found as an extrusion. No, the cardiac portion of the stomach is an extrusion on the central portion of the animal, and the pyloric stomach you can see here. Um, let's have a pen. Okay, so the cardiac stomach, and then the pyloric stomach. Okay, then the anus, opening of the end portion of the gut. No, um, starfishes feed primarily on sessile organisms, since they are not actively or active hunting of prey or hunting of food. It's not characteristic of true starfishes. They primarily depend on the abundance of sessile organisms as nutrient source. Okay, so more about their organ systems. The circulatory system of true starfishes are or is poorly developed. Primarily, chambers within the animal are fluid filled. They don't have a heart. No, there's no specific organ called or that pumps fluid, the body fluid of the animal. The coelom is ciliated, allowing for fluid movement. They also don't have specialized structures for excretion. Diffusion is the primary mechanism by which they're able to excrete waste material process but within the animal body. Also, they don't have specialized lungs or specialized respiratory structures. The exchange of gas happens across body membranes. And for their nervous system, for sensation and interpretation of stimuli in the ambient, the nervous system is highly associated with the epidermal structure. They have circular oral nerve rings with branches into their arms. So the nervous system or sensations actually a function of the entire body animal, as branching of the nerve ring is evident in the appendages or the arms of the starfish. For the body wall, the epidermis outlines is serving as the outer surface of the animal, and the epidermal layer contains the following structures. There are mucous cells responsible for secretion of mucus liquid or mucus material, important for the animal to adhere to certain substrata, allows the animal to also capture prey or capture smaller animals for feeding. Also has an epithelial layer, no, epithelial tissue, and the presence of pedicellariae, which are jaw-like appendages of the epidermis. Okay, so here you can see the epidermal tissue, outermost covering of the animal. Okay, the pedicellariae, though not really shown here, are characteristically active. It's able to open and close depending on the need of the animal. And these appendages allow the animal to clean its body of debris that are acquired as it travels or as it stays in a particular environment. The dermal tissue includes the nervous material or the nervous system, the nerve cells and connective tissue that allow the animal to sense its environment or sense stimuli from its environment. The skeleton is below the dermis within the dermal tissue. No? So it's deeper to the dermal tissue, made of ossicles, which are lattice-like in appearance. Here, as an example, we have the ambulacral ossicles, which are bony or calcareous in appearance, and these endoskeleton of the animal possess different morphologies or may appear as having different morphologies. Some are spine like in appearance, some are tubercle like in appearance. No? And muscle layer is also found beneath the dermis. No? The coelom, the body cavity, is lined with a peritoneum. So here, peritoneal layer covers the body cavity. Okay. In terms of reproduction, as two starfishes are dioecious animals. They're not hermaphroditic. They carry out external fertilization. So the female animal does not house the developing embryo, so sperm and egg. They meet outside the animal body. So they are both secreted out of the female and the animal body, and the fertilization takes place in the ambient. Usually, starfishes have 10 gonads. There are two in each arm. So here you can see the gonadal tissue producing the gametes. Okay. They follow or demonstrate fissiparity, division of the central disc into two animals. Okay. So the larva, the Pluteus larva of Asteroidea, are free living. So they develop in the environment, in the marine water. No, so Bipinaria first develops as the larva that later on becomes a brachylaria, and the Bipinaria doesn't have characteristic arms. No, unlike the brachiolaria eventually um, transitions as the adult starfish. So the brachiolaria has the characteristic arms that will later on develop as the arms or the appendages of the starfish animal. Okay. The next class of echinoderms that we are going to cover in this recorded lecture are the Opiroidea, the brittle starfishes. They have the same Dorsoventrally flattened morphology as starfishes, but they have tentacles or arms that are longer than that of starfishes. These animals have include representatives under the brittle starfishes group and the basket stars. The arms, similar with asteroideans, are five in number, usually five. The central disc is well marked. There are no branches of the gut in the arm. So the gut does not really cover the ambulacral system, or the arms do not really comprise extension of canals and gut tissue that are important for bodily function. So the arms are just appendages. No? Okay. They don't have an anus, no ambulacral groove. The madreporite is on the oral surface. It's okay, on the ventral surface of the animal. The true feet do not really have suckers. They don't have an ambuli that are structures important for pressure control, for water pressure control. The epidermal tissue do not have pedicellariae, and they're able to move quickly because of their arms. No, the arms are much longer than that of true starfishes. Okay, so then we have class Echinoidea, sea urchins, the sea biscuits, and sand dollars, which are spherical in appearance, circular in appearance. No? Okay. So for Echinoidea, there are no characteristic arms, unlike Asteroidea or Opuroidea. The skeleton is fused into one solid mass, a solid test. So they don't really have uh, a branching or more complicated network of endoskeleton, unlike Asteroidea or Opuroidea. The true feet of Echinoidea have suckers for attachment, no? And they're covered with movable spines and pedicellariae. So they have the spiny structure here, you can see, are the extensions, the spiny structures here are spines emanating from the epidermal tissue. And there are pedicellariae that are also associated with the epidermal layer. Okay, so they have specialized mouth structures called the Aristotle's lantern. Okay, so here you can see a schematic of mouth, the mouth or opening, the mouth opening of the animal. Okay, oops. Before we talk about the Holothurideans, this mouth opening or mouth modifications or echinoidea, it's essentially the oral opening, you know, used for the animal to get its nutrient, to get other smaller animals as nutrient, as food, such as algae. No, the structure allows for um, sea urchins to scrape their food from a solid substratum. No, and primarily this mouth modification for echinoideans are calcareous in appearance. No, so it looks like a cone. You can see here. Looks like a cone structure, cone shaped structure. And important primary function of the Aristotle's lantern is for the sea urchin to masticate, to physically digest the food that it acquired through its oral opening. Okay. Then we have the sea cucumbers, the Holothuriidea, here. Let's see, which are elongated cylindrically. Okay. So The body is elongated following an oral aboral plane or axis. The skeletal system of Holothuriidea, unlike Asteroidea, Echinoidea, or Operoidea, is actually reduced. So the endoskeleton is reduced, or in some representative species, totally absent. There are no spines on the surface and no pedicellariae. The mouth and anus are the opposite ends of the animal's body. So there is a mouth, you can see here, okay, with the associated tentacles, and the anus on the other end. The gut is just a simple tube. Okay. The water vascular system does not possess an external madriporite opening. The true feet have suckers. Respiration is through an anal respiratory tree. You can see here, the one that I am highlighting now. So associated with the anus. Okay. The animal is, or sea cucumbers are dioecious, possess a single gonad for production of gametes. Primarily, Holothuriidea are non-active animals in the sense that they don't actively hunt or look for their prey. So they depend on detritus material, or detritic material, or suspended smaller invertebrates or smaller animals in the water ambient as their nutrient source. No? And in some representatives, they may have commensal relationships with specific types of chordate, marine chordates, no? Such as fishes. Then we have the sea lilies, the underclass Crinoidea, look like flowers, or look like I don't know, vegetative looking, flower looking echinoderms. So most sea lilies are already extinct, and they're the most primitive under the Echinodermata. All of them are sessile. No, they have a specific stalk, or a characteristic stalk that allows the animal to attach to its substratum. So this is the stalk, serves like a stem-like structure that grounds the animal on the solid substratum. They have branched arms for filter feeding. If you look into their, if you take a look at this structure here, it will, you can further dissect the animal and find the specific structures associated with the organ system, especially the gut. No, the true feet do not have suckers on them. The madreporite is absent. There's no associated pedicellariae on the epidermal tissue. Okay, so most crinoideans have a very colorful appearance. Most are possessing a variety of colors. The sea lilies and the feather stars are the known extant species or extant major groups under Crinoidea. Okay, so here some more pictures for a roundup of our echinoderm classes. We have the Asteroideans, Operoideans, the Echinoideans, here heart urchins, sea biscuits and sand dollars, okay, Holothurideans, the sea cucumbers. No? In your laboratory, I believe you're able to examine preserved specimens, and the following are some of those that you were probably able to look at and to document and study their anatomy. No? So some more pictures for the case of this species, Proteroreaster nodosus, the horned sea star, also goes by the name chocolate chip sea star. You can see the aboral surface with the madreporite, though not really here, this one. The central canal or central disc where the arms emanate or originate from. No? Oops, here. And then at the terminal tentacle, you can see true feet. with suckers. Oral surface, ventral surface, you can see tube feet that may have suckers, may or may not have suckers. I'm pretty sure most representatives of true starfishes have oral suckers, no? Or tube sucker discs associated with the tube feet. Okay, opening of the, you can see here the ambulacral groove on one arm, this canal or opening here. Okay. Also another example under Asteroidea, we have Lenkia levigata, or the blue sea star, the blue starfish. Okay. Arcaster is another genus, right? So here you can see the aboral surface of the animal and characteristic preserved spines on the dermals, on the epidermal surface, no, on the integument of the animal. On the oral surface, you can see the mouth and the ambulacral groove. Other representative genus, we have Pentaceraster. No? Then for brittle stars, we have Opioderma. See here the arms, no, which are longer than that of true starfishes. This is the oral surface. This one is the aboral surface. Okay. Then for Echinoidea, we have sea urchin. Sand dollar as another example of Echinoidea, Laganum laganum. So here you can see uh, impressions on the aboral surface that looks like a flower, no, flower impression, no, and identified opening of the WVS sa madriporite. Then we have sea cucumber. Here you can see the tentacles associated with the mouth and the anal opening. Okay, so that ends our recorded lecture on Echinodermata. I believe that I've already provided you with the PDF copy of the PowerPoint. And tomorrow I'll upload the remaining recorded lecture on Phylum chordata.